The comic book character Miles Morales made his first appearance in comics back in 2011. In 2021, we're celebrating his 10th anniversary in comics. This character has become culturally significant already in just 10 years. And at the time I make this video, his first appearance in comics is selling for an average of $3,000, 9.8 CGC. That's insane. Let's talk about him.
Welcome back to Comic Power. I'm your host, Comic Killer 72. Welcome to another episode of The Quick Flip. This is the program where I go over comic book industry news in a short period of time. Please subscribe to this channel and also click on the notification bell as well. It will remind you when new videos come out. Alright, now let's get right into it.
If you own copies of Miles Morales' first appearance in comics, then you're probably doing this right now. But let's go over his origin in comics. He first shows up in Ultimate Fallout number 4 in 2011, and he fights his first battle against a D-list character called the Kangaroo. And it's revealed after he wins this fight that he's a black kid dressed up in the Spider-Man uniform. We then later on found out more about Miles Morales in Ultimate Comics Spider-Man number 1, in which we get his origin. It's written by his creator, Brian Michael Bendis, and drawn by Sarah Pacelli. He's a kid from New York City that has a black father and a Puerto Rican mother, so he can claim both black and Latin. It turns out that his father's brother is a supervillain named Aaron Davis, also known as the Prowler, and his father doesn't want him hanging around his uncle for obvious reasons. But Miles goes to visit him anyway, and one day he gets bitten by a genetically altered spider that the Prowler stole from Oscorp. And because comics, he doesn't die, he gets superpowers because that's what happens in comics. And he has all the powers that were similar to Peter Parker, but he also has a venom strike and spider camouflage. The Peter Parker Spider-Man character dies in battle, so young Miles decides to take up the mantle of Spider-Man, dressing up like his hero, before deciding to ditch that because he thinks it's in bad taste, then dons the outfit that we know today. And remember, this is all taking place in the Ultimate Universe, a different universe than the regular Peter Parker 616 universe. So with the passing of Peter Parker, Miles Morales is the Spider-Man of this universe. This is what he looks like, and this is what the Prowler looks like in this universe. So needless to say, the character was a big hit and is credited for being responsible for opening up the floodgates of more diverse characters after him. The character was then featured in the Marvel Ultimate Spider-Man animated series and was voiced by Donald Glover. The Miles character got another boost in 2017 with the release of Spider-Man Homecoming, and Donald Glover, who has a historic connection to the character of Miles Morales, was cast as Aaron Davis, the Prowler. And if you remember the scene in the movie, Spider-Man webs the hand of the Prowler to his trunk, and the Prowler says, "I have a nephew in this neighborhood." Yes, he's talking about Miles Morales. And this is confirmed by Marvel president Kevin Feige that Miles does exist in the MCU. They just haven't shown him yet. So Donald Glover is the connective tissue for the Miles Morales character, being that he voiced the character in animation, and now he's playing the uncle of Miles Morales, the Prowler, who's responsible for Miles getting his powers in the first place. But the event that turned Miles Morales from a cult favorite into a multimedia household name favorite is the movie Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, which came out in 2018. It had a budget of $90 million and it made $375 million at the box office. So yeah, it was a big hit. I can't think of anyone I know that doesn't like this movie. And it also went on to win the Oscar in 2019 for Best Animated Feature. And this time the voice of Miles Morales was provided by Shameik Moore, who got famous for the independent sleeper hit Dope. Then the character got another bump in popularity by starring in his own video game on PS4 and PS5 in the year 2020. They aged up the character a little bit and he looks like this in it. So the Miles Morales character is definitely on fire. He's red hot. And the question is, when is he going to appear in live action? We got the Easter egg in Homecoming. We got nothing from Far From Home, and there's no evidence of him appearing in No Way Home. So if the question is, when will he show up in live action? The answer is, we don't know yet. But when it does happen, it's going to be a big deal. So keep your eyes open. Now let me return to what I was saying previously about how Miles Morales' first appearance is worth a lot of money. These completed sales on eBay are for real. This is not a joke. It averages about $3,000 for a CGC 9.8. I never thought that any non-variant comic book released in the last 20 years would ever rise to this type of level, except The Walking Dead. Now, that book was released in 2003. It had a print run of just under 9,000 copies, and it's selling right now for about $3,000 itself. And this is The Walking Dead, which had an iconic television show and made household names out of Rick Grimes, Michonne, and Negan. So Miles' first appearance is fetching the type of money that The Walking Dead #1 is getting. I never would imagine that this book would get this hot, this fast, and rise so quickly. The Miles Morales' first appearance in Ultimate Fallout #4 has a print run of just under 74,000 copies. Will that $3,000 price hold? That is the question. It's a source of contention at the Facts group over at Facebook, which I'm a member of. I'll put you a link in the description for it. There's people out there that say it will hold and go higher, and there are some that are saying that it's overvalued and will drop. I thought this book would peak once it hit $1,000, but boy was I wrong. It does not appear to have any limit at this time, especially since he hasn't appeared in live action yet. So think about what will happen when that happens. What type of price will this fetch then? So tell me, are you excited for the Spider-Verse sequel that's going to be released in October of 2022? How many hours did you spend playing the game on PS4 and PS5? Is it true that if you're Generation Z, Peter Parker is your grandfather's Spider-Man, but Miles Morales is your Spider-Man? And what film do you expect for Miles Morales to show up in live action in the MCU? But remember, Sony still owns the movie rights to the Spider-Man universe, so that's going to be more complicated than what you think. Marvel has a sharing deal for Peter Parker. It's very complicated. That's why Venom hasn't showed up in the MCU yet. And do you think that his first appearance in Ultimate Fallout #4 has peaked at $3,000, or will it keep going higher? Speak up in the comments and let me know what you think.
You know the drill. Be sure to subscribe to this channel, give the thumbs up, and share these videos on social media so other people learn about the channel. And don't forget, I do sell comics at my eBay page listed here with a link in the description. One Stop Thrift and Comic Power are run by the same guy. That would be me, Comic Killer 72. I have 100% feedback, by the way. And once again, thank you to my subscribers and viewers who support Comic Power. Until next time, this is Comic Killer 72 for Comic Power saying bye-bye.